Good dude, I know you love me like cook food. Even though a nigga gotta move like a crook move. We was together on the block since free lunch. We should have been together having Four Seasons brunch. We used to use umbrellas to face the bad weather. So now we travel first class to change the forecast. Never in bunches, just me and you. I loved your point of view cause you held no punches.
What is up,
Still
guys?
I left
Welcome
you for
to
months
another
on end.
episode of
It's been
Table
months
Shopping.
since
I'm
I checked
Maximilian.
in.
Must know. You know that these are sponsored by decantshop.com, made possible by decantshop.com. So definitely check decantshop.com out. I know there's a bunch of new fragrances coming in from Xerjoff, Profume del Forte, Frederic Malle, the new Aqua de Parma, the leather one. Just a lot of good stuff coming. And you can always use coupon code MAX12 to get 12% off your entire order. They also have decanting supplies now, made in the USA. Got to support the country. And you can trade in or sell your bottles that you're not using to Decant Shop. So remember, these videos are possible because of decantshop.com. Use coupon code MAX12. And we're going to be starting today's episode off with a fragrance from Montale. This is a feminine one called Intense Tiare. And I've been quite down on Montale scents as of late. You know, I find them to be redundant. And the last episode, Wild Pears, really made me step back and take another look. I really like that fragrance. Added it to my to-buy list. This one has notes of tiare flower, coconut, rose, jasmine, ylang ylang, and vanilla. And this one can be difficult to find discounted. So you might have to pay real Montale prices, $170 for the 100 ml. Or $110 for the 50 ml. And, you know, the last 8 fragrances we've done on this, last 2 weeks, I could see myself wearing all 8 of those. And I wanted bottles of quite a few of them. The streak is going to be broken at 8. You know, this is by no stretch of the imagination a bad scent, but I've seen it done many times before with coconut, jasmine, and ylang ylang. Smell Bent does it with Saint-Tropez de Spencer. You know, Creed sort of did it with Virgin Island water. This is definitely different than that. But this is a very familiar beach smell, you know, with a feminine lean to it because of the heavy dose of floral. You know, Creed changed theirs by adding rum and lime, so that's sort of the big difference. But here, the florals are very assertive, and I find it to be very feminine, and definitely not unique enough to warrant a purchase from me. But it's definitely a good Montale scent. You know, Montale's coming back in my eyes a little bit. I've smelled some scents from them recently that aren't redundant, and we have another one to look at in this haul. So. Not bad, not bad. Next up, we have one from the house of by Kilian. This one's called Playing with the Devil. This is the second by Kilian fragrance we've looked at in this whole. First one was Straight to Heaven, which I like, but I found it to be very similar to Jubilation 25. Normal by Kilian pricing here, 50 ml is available, 1 ounce is available. Or you can get the 50 ml refill. This is a 2013 release from by Kilian, their white collection, which is part of the Garden of Good and Evil line. Khalees Becker is the perfume here. And the notes are lychee, blood orange, black currant, peach, pimento, pepper, rose, jasmine flower, sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, benzoin, tonka bean, and vanilla. And this is really fruity and bright. You know, reminds me a lot of like peach brandy or peach Snapple peach iced tea. That could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you like peach. I think that someone who doesn't smell a lot of niche might look at this as sort of a very common girly fruity fragrance, but I think that when you've smelled enough, you can tell that the fruit notes in this are very well done and very natural. You know what it reminds me a bit of, actually? Enchanted Forest by Vagabond Print, which I like a lot. I think that has black currant note in it as well. But because of the florals, this smells more feminine than Enchanted Forest. Very nice fragrance, though. I wouldn't buy this personally, but I could see guys wearing this, and if I were a woman, I'd probably own this because I really do have a healthy respect for it. Next up, we're going to look at a fragrance from the house of Andy Tower called Incense Rose. And I actually found one of my favorite fragrances of all time on Sample Shopping. If you guys remember, it was L'Air du Desert Marocain. I still think that's one of the best fragrances of all time across the board. Since then, we've only looked at Incense Extreme, which didn't blow me away, hoping this will be a bit better. This is a 2008 release by Tower. Notes on this are rose, clementine, bergamot, and cardamom at the top. orris, castor, and woods in the middle, and vetiver, balsamic myrrh, patchouli, natural frankincense, labdanum, and amber in the base. 50 ml of this is the only size available. It's bottled at Eau de Parfum strength and retails for $135. Great price, by the way, for Tower fragrances, because the quality on all of Tower's shit is A1. And he uses very high-end, I think it's called Boswellia, incense in all his fragrances. So his incense fragrances are just amazing. And this definitely has that same incense. That's in Lair du Desert and Incense Extreme. But I don't love it here because it does have that Bulgarian rose, and I'm just not a rose fan. You know, there's so many rose scents out there that I just don't like as much as the community. Lyric Man, Rose Poivre, De La Labo Rose scent, I think it's called 31, Cafe Rose by Tom Ford. The only two niche rose scents that I own are Intense Cafe by Montale and Rouge Avignon by Phaedon, and those are both sweet and very different from this. You know, rose isn't front and center really in either of those. Here it is with the incense, and I want to try something different from Tower minus the incense, because I want to see what he can do without that high-end incense in the mix, so it doesn't sort of swallow up everything else. So, you know, it's just not for me. But if you like incense and rose, I think this will be up your alley. It's just not up mine. Finally, this week we're going to look at a Nasomatto fragrance called Parton. And this is my buddy Renee Zayas' favorite scent. And you know, I don't get around too much. I don't know if I've talked about this, but I really don't watch too many other reviewers at this point. And that's not shitting on them. That's not a slight at anyone else. It's just I don't have the time. And, you know, it's hard for me to really find reviewers that get me excited. I guess watching so many videos for the past couple of years, it's just hard. You know, there are a couple of guys that I'm just going to watch no matter what. Mark, of course, you know, Redolescence, my homies Joe and Chad, and a bunch of other people. So, again, this isn't me taking shots. You know, it's just me saying the truth. But the point I want to make is Renee Zayas is a dude who I'll always watch his videos no matter what, because of his passion is just so bananas. And he's such a great guy, and I just have so much respect for his nose. And but I'm saying that because this is Renee's favorite scent, and so I want to, hopefully he's not going to kill me, because I smelled this at Barney's once. I wasn't blown away by it, but I liked it at Barney's. And you know, Nasomatto has Blamage coming out. I think it's already out in Europe. I think it's coming to America soon. And then the Nasomatto project is done, and the owners are starting a new endeavor called Orto Parisi. Really anxious for that line and Blamage to come to the States. And I'm not clear as to whether Nasomatto scents are going to continue to be in production. I know Black Afghano has been out of stock everywhere for about 6 months, and I predict that in a couple of years, unopened boxes of Black Afghano will go to thousands of dollars. I really believe that. When I got mine, I got the last shipment in that New London Pharmacy in Chelsea had. They said they just got it that day. They got 4 bottles. This was like 6 months ago, or I think actually like in the fall. And I should have just bought all 4. Stupid me, because no one else, Lucky Scent, Barney's, New London, no one else has gotten this since it's sold out. So who knows if Black Afghano's ever coming back. But anyway, I digress. This one, Parton, is normal Nasomatto pricing, $185 for 30 ml of extrait parfum, 2011 release with notes of magnolia at the top, dark chocolate, cinnamon, and tonka beans in the middle. And the base is made up of oud and sandalwood. And look, you know, this is a great scent. I mean, it really, really is. It's deeper and dark. People compare it to Lidge by L'Instant de Guerlain. And I definitely see that comparison. But this is way more formal. It's richer, it's stronger, it's smoother. But it's still very similar. And because of that similarity, I wouldn't personally buy this. But if I didn't have Lidge and I never smelled Lidge, I would definitely buy this. You know what I'm saying? I actually don't have the Extreme Lidge. I have L'Instant de Guerlain, the original, not the parfum version, but I will be picking that up eventually. As I said, you know, if I didn't have that, I'd love this. But because of what it is, it just doesn't wow me like Black Afghano does. To me, Absinthe also wows me from Nasomatto. Those two are the ones that I really, really like. This is a good scent. I wouldn't pay $185 for 30 ml of this. It's just not something I would see myself doing, having, you know, L'Instant de Guerlain. But it's a really good scent. Anyone who compares it really closely to those two, I think that's crazy. They're both really good. This one is more. This one is extra. This is like the really extreme version of that. So if I was going to rank these guys, just so you know, no real winners here. In terms of just what I think are good scents, I'd go by Kilian 1, I'd go Nasomatto 2, I'd go with the Montale 3 and Tiare 4 because I'm just not a rose dude. So that has been this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. We'll be back next week. Let's just let you guys know the scents we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at 2 from Mona de Oreo next week, RIP. 1 from Etienne Aignard, I believe it's called, or Etienne Aignard, one of their scents, and 1 from a new house, a pretty new house that's going to get some serious hype very soon, called Le Couvent Minimi. They're a French producer that L'Occitane recently brought, and they have a fucking insane vanilla scent that Adriana let me know about. That's like $40-50, and it is bananas boozy vanilla scent. So we're gonna, not actual bananas, I'm just saying the scent is so crazy it's bananas. It doesn't like bananas, but it does. Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, that is this week's episode of Sample Shopping. Decantshop.com is the website. Use coupon code MAX12, get hooked up with 12% off your entire order. Always check there for new fragrances, and don't forget to sign up for the newsletter from decantshop.com so you'll know when new shit drops. You get first dibs on it because sometimes bottles sell out real quick on there, and I want you guys to be able to get the fragrances that you want to sample. I'm Maximilian.
Be that shit. Empty gun in your hand saying, let me see that clip. Shopping sprees, pull out your visa quick. Nigga had very bad credit, you helped me lease that whip. You helped me get the keys to